If you want to increase sales by identifying 40 to 60% of your website visitors, then reach out to them in real time, this video is for you. I'm going to share a quick overview. Then I'm going to share exactly how we do it. So once we identify 40 to 60% of your traffic, we want to make sure they match your ideal customer profile, your ICP. If they don't, the automation stops. If they do, by the way, we're checking for things like industry, job title, company size and revenue, location and tech stack, and there's a few other things that we can do as well, but those are the main ones that most companies want. Once we find out, okay, yes, they match your ideal customer profile, they're on my website right now, whether you have 200 visitors a month or 2 million visitors a month, this works. So we want to gather their email, their LinkedIn, and their phone number, both mobile and business number. And then we want to let your sales rep or your SDRs know, so we want to route that to them. And then we want to do some research using AI, both company research and person level research. And then we want to reach out to them via your Gmail account or a company like SmartLead or Instantly, which are very good at cold email. You can call them, you can reach out to them on LinkedIn, and of course you'll get a Slack notification as soon as this data comes in. Once that all happens and they book a call, for example, then we want to make sure that you first get a Slack notification that they booked a call, and then immediately within a minute or so, you will get a Google Doc with a professional dossier about what this lead is all about, what their interests are, what their job experience is, all that data. But the coolest thing, which I'll show you exactly how this works in a minute, is you're going to get talking points. So what are some of the things that they're interested in? What are they posted on LinkedIn that shows their values, what they're not interested in, what they're against, what they're for, and you can use that on your sales calls to increase your close rate as well. You obviously get a Slack notification. We'll set up reminders for the call, which is pretty basic stuff. But the suggested talking points is huge. And you also get a complete research document, which I'll show you in a minute, within a minute or two of them actually booking a call. This will dramatically decrease the amount of time your sales reps or your SDRs are doing research. And what most companies do is, let's say you have 10 to 20 different sales reps or 5 sales reps, whatever it is, you can help those sales reps that aren't getting great results find another job within your company or elsewhere. And the ones that have the highest close rate, they can focus only on doing calls and not doing research. Because most companies, their team, they're doing like 30 to 60 minutes per lead, this research. The research we give is better than what your team is doing, most likely. And it's within a minute or two of the system of the lead booking a call, etc. Okay, so that's the overview. Let's get right down to the nitty gritty of this. Oh, and by the way, as you probably know, if you can respond to a lead within 60 seconds or a minute or so, it increases sales. That's just very well known, and that's why this automation is so important. So let me flip over and show you what I'm talking about. So you can see here, we're getting data like their business email, their first name, their last name, their job title. These are all the visitors on my website, and we're getting all this data, okay? But that's good. But this is really cool here, event type, so we can know, did they just go on a page view, or were they clicking on the, like here, we had a click, probably that's a good one to reach out to as well, click, click. You can see those ones are more interested in what you do because they've actually watched a video, they've clicked on something on your website. Anyway, I won't bore you with all the details about that, but from the website visitor, we'll gather all this information, their company URL, their business email, their job title, phone numbers, all the stuff I talked to you about before. And there's ways that we do that with our system. Now, of course, everyone we identify on your website, we're not going to be able to get their business email from that system. But we have a way, we have 10 different vendors that we utilize, that we call that an email waterfall, that we take that person through each one of those email vendors. So we can pretty much get every one of the business emails that are visiting your website. And then what we do is we'll get more information. We'll get their LinkedIn profiles. We'll find out more information about them. And then we'll also get, okay, what is their name, their job title? This is if we don't have it already from the piece of code. So we put a line of code on your website, by the way. If we don't have it from that, then we enrich the data with our own system. And then we can enrich the company data. So we can enrich not just the personal data, but the company data. And we can get their tagline of the company, the description of the company. We can use all this in our emails to make sure we're writing copy that's relevant for them. We know their company size, a company location, and then we can score these leads. So not only do we know that they're visiting your website, we can get all their emails, but we score them because if they're not your ideal customer profile, that doesn't work. So for example, role level, right? So role level classification. Role level classification is, let's say you only want C-suite and VPs and maybe directors. but you don't want lower management and you don't want below that, like entry-level positions. We can score all that, and we can also score based on location, company size, company revenue, and then we can put percentages on each one of those and come up with a percent. So for example, anyone over 90%, that's our ideal customer profile. We want to reach out to those people right away with our system, which is automated, of course. So this is an example of a waterfall. In this case, we only had 3 vendors because I had so much traffic on my website. I didn't want a bunch. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on other vendors. But most of our clients, we do 10 vendors because they want every single lead. And then we validate those emails to make sure they're actually valid. We have a whole list of these emails. You can see here, they're all business emails. And then we added to a campaign like Smart Lead, but we're not just emailing them and sending the same email to everybody else. We're using AI to create parts, if not all the email, with relevant data from what that lead does, their job title, what the company does. Remember I showed you the company description? We use AI to write part or all of the email, and that's how we're booking so many calls per day, is because we're using AI. So 2 things about this. Number 1, each email is different, which means spam filters love us because they're not the same. We're not blasting people with the same copy. And number 2, we have a very high response rate, positive response rate, because these are relevant emails for those people and they're just on your website. So they're getting these emails in real time while they're on your website or shortly thereafter. And then of course, once they book a call, we want to make sure your sales team is not wasting time doing research. So this will all happen within a minute or so of them booking a call. Your team will get a Slack notification with a Google Doc, or it'll go into your CRM, however we communicate. And this is really cool because we can get an entire research on that lead that just booked a call. Now this is just a demo, of course, but it gives you an idea, their position, what their LinkedIn profile says, which is pretty standard. Career highlights is pretty standard. But then we can do this, LinkedIn post analysis. So we can go by if they're posting content on LinkedIn, if they're liking certain comments, liking certain posts on LinkedIn, we can use that using AI to find out good talking points that you can use on your sales calls. And remember I told you, it's not just about doing research on that lead. The system we have is most likely better than the research that your team is doing, and they're not wasting time doing it. So for example, we can, like for me, we do something called go-to-market engineering, which is what I'm talking about, these AI automation tools and systems. So for example, I want to know what is pretty much their feeling about this. You know what I mean? Like I want to know, how do they feel about it? By showcasing success from companies like he stresses how teams can future-proof growth by blending technical SEO. This is all from AI summarizing the posts and the comments that he's made on LinkedIn. His tone is energetic, he's forward-looking, he makes extensive use of bullet points and condensed insights, so that might be utilized with your outreach. What are his personal values and character? He advocates for authenticity, mentioning that if AI can replicate your content, you need to dig deeper. So these are good insights for your sales call. And then obviously also individual post highlights. There's links here that your team can research if they want to do further research. And this is the greatest thing about this that I love, that companies love: recommended conversation approaches. Ask how he sees AI-driven SEO evolving over the next 12 months. Inquire about his preferred tooling for content transformation. Again, this is just for this one person, which is a demo, but each person, each lead that books a call, you will have these recommended conversation approaches, which I will pretty much guarantee you your research team are not doing. They're not getting to this level because they don't know how to do that. Discuss bridging the gap between purely technical SEO. So you get the idea of that. This is all highly, highly relevant information that you can use for your sales calls. So again, just to summarize, we can identify 40 to 60% of your anonymous website visitors, and we can reach out to them in real time with copy that's relevant and personalized for that specific person, whether it be email, LinkedIn, or you can call them as well. And then once that lead books a call, then your team can have an entire research done for them with research that's relevant for the sales call to increase your close rates. Thanks so much for watching. Check out the next video where I show another very cool AI automation.